right. All right. What is going on, chat? What is good? What is good, man? I hope you guys are having a good day. I hope you guys are having a good day. What are y'all doing? What am I doing? I'm glad you asked. Giving out free money, baby. Giving out free money, dog. Look at that. Look at that. John, you're always giving out free money, bro. I can't help it. I can't help it, chat. I cannot help it. I love it. Now, mind you, fucking spam. Mind you, I didn't say to long Dow or to long ES or to long NQ. I didn't say long anything. All I said was there's so much soup today. What do you think turtle soup is? What do you think it is? What do you think it is, chat? Come on, man. It's manipulation. How hard is that? Look at ES, baby. Look at that shit. Look at that right there. Look at that. I tweeted at 11:18. Now, mind you, ES did come back a little bit more. A little bit. Not a lot. Just a little bit. But I'd say that looks pretty damn good. I'd say that looks pretty good, don't it? One of the, I guess, one of the more difficult things to do in trading is to pick a low. Okay? Low of the day to the minute, or at least to maybe like a 5-minute candle or a 15-minute candle or something. You know, getting close. I may not always nail the very minute of the day. Often, it's usually right after, right? So, why would that be important to learn? Why do you think? Even if you don't trade it, because I know I've said this time and time again, I don't always buy below the old low. I'll typically look for the retracement right after. But why would it be beneficial to say, okay, this is manipulation, this is turtle soup, this is probably going to set the low, and moving forward, right? Okay, Nasdaq, same thing. Not turtle soup, though. We'll get into that. But why do you think it would be beneficial to be able to nail the low of the day or possibly even a high of the day? Why do you think that would be important? And while you're doing that, we can do our intro. What's good? Naruto, Robert, Sean, Ibrahim, Sebastian, Marshall, Willow, Marvelous, Leon, Edmundo, MJ, Remy, Mason, Amin, Sergio, Jonas, Darth, Quinn, Felix, Martin. Who else is in here? We got almost 50 people on here. Almost. Dow is... Oh, let me move my phone. Dow today, at least after we made our third lower low, is ass. That's weak sauce. You know what I mean? That's straight weak sauce. NQ is the one that's destined for greatness. 21,487 and above, probably 21.5. That's the most probable in my opinion. ES may not have the same strength, but I do like 59.71 and a quarter as those highs here. So what did we just get done talking about yesterday? I went on a rant yesterday. About what? Price action wise, at least. What do you think it was? Was good, Emmanuel? Girl? Who else? Ram. Become low risk, long / short comes after manipulation. Yes. Yes. Right. Nailing. Sorry, I asked you like multiple questions. My bad. The first one, sorry. Why would we want to nail the low? Because once we know the low is set, everything else after that becomes easy. Next candle entry. That's when I tweeted, by the way. Low risk buy, first stage, whatever. We have a 1, 2, 3 formation low. We have equal highs here. That was the ding you heard if you were here early enough on the stream. You heard that. Da-na-na. That's what that was. We have highs up here and we have highs up here. So we have manipulation to the lows. And that was literally what I was talking about yesterday. Run the low, jam the highs. Run a low, run for the highs. Sweep the low, run for the highs. Sweep the low, run for the highs. Over and over and over again. Ram, what the fuck kind of question is that? I'm married to the charts, baby. I'm married to the grind, dog. I'm married to making money. Okay? No offense to all the people that are married out there, but that... No. No. Grocery bill fucking 4X's. You know what I'm saying? I gotta spend 3 times as much on food and have an argument. No, fuck that. Fuck that. No. No, no, no. We are not doing that. We are looking for liquidity. That's what I'm going to be doing. Okay? That's what I'm married to. Okay? But you're right, Mason. We did talk about price chopping around the entry. You're right. That was the poll that we did. You're right. Was good, Pop. Was good, Max. Thank you, Sergio. I appreciate it. Sweep the lows, run for the highs. Sweep the lows, run for the highs. What do you think this was? Sweep the lows, run for the highs. Okay, we're not there yet. So this technically is not done. But what do you think the probabilities are? You think... You guys think it's fucking comedy hour. Shit's real out here, bro. The struggle is real for a lot of people out there, okay? A lot of people can't concentrate. Matter of fact, let me give you a sidebar. I was reading Mastery yesterday, Mastery by Robert Greene, which I shared on my Instagram story. And honestly, that book has really tapped into my, I ain't gonna say soul, but that book so far has really, really connected. Because he's talking about like childhood and how, you know, you're raised by parents and teachers, but they're imperfect people too. And, you know, they can instill bad habits, but you see them as an authority figure, so you trust them. And then, yeah, it's bad. You know what I mean? But it's so good. Like, I love this kind of stuff. And I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, that's right. That whole marriage shit. Okay. A lot of times in whatever we're doing, we're trying to learn how to trade, we're trying to learn how to run a business or whatever. Maybe manage a team of people, you know, something that requires concentration and it's complex and, you know, you need focus, right? A lot of people get so caught up in bad relationships or, you know, bad marriages, right, that they don't ever learn the skill set. Okay, there is a reason that I can tweet at almost the low of the day and your mentor cannot, right? And I hate being this way because it definitely comes off arrogant and egotistical. But I mean, fucking look at my tweets, bro. Look at them. Look how close that is to the low. I wasn't even trying to do that for you. But I was like, you know what? Let me tweet this so I can tell him I told you so. Because I like doing that, right? A lot of people cannot do that. They just can't. If they could, they probably would. Because this is free. Tweeting is free. Who cares? But a lot of people don't. It would ruin their image because they would probably get it wrong. Okay? A lot of people do not get to an elite level of anything. Sports, whatever, you know, your career, all that shit, a lot of people don't ever make it to an elite level because they're so caught up in the nonsense, arguments, debates, discourse about shit that doesn't even matter. Stuff that doesn't even matter. Well, Khloe Kardashian said this. Well, the other Kardashian da 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 da. What the fuck are we talking about? What are we talking about? Oh, did you see the fucking neighbor? There was a car parked there last night. I never seen that car before. Is she cheating? Is he cheating? Shut the fuck up, bro. We do not have time for that. We don't have time for that. We don't. You have to concentrate, like a Roman, Marcus Aurelius, on what's right in front of you. You have to eliminate distractions. And I'm not saying marriage or relationships are a distraction. But what I am saying is those, I guess, arguments that, let me ask you this. Out of all the arguments you've ever had with your significant other, do you even remember what half of them were about? Be honest. Drop a 1 in the chat if you remember having a bunch of arguments and you can't even name what half the shit was. You know, like, oh yeah, we argue. Oh, we've argued a lot. What did you argue about? I don't know, John. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Okay, so right there, what does that mean? You were arguing about things that were not worth remembering. That's why people do not make it. They do not learn. They do not become a master, or at least, you know, reaching the levels of mastery, right? Because they're caught up in those arguments. They're caught up in things that do not matter. The trivial. That's why they don't make it. Okay? So, not that you need to know a lot about my personal life, but a lot of the times that's typically what happens, you know. And again, like, I'm not sexist or nothing, but women, bro, y'all can fucking yap, dog. I know I can yap on a live stream. I know that. But sure, it's a live stream. I mean, I gotta teach and entertain and talk to you. I gotta yap, right? But like, bro, the things that people come to me and yap about make me want to shoot myself. Like, bro. And I can't remember all those details. Well, he said and she said, and then this happened and all this bullshit. I'm trying to concentrate, bro. I'm trying to learn the skill set. I'm trying to not manage my emotions, but I'm trying to, you know, invest and think about the long term and all this shit. And you want to talk about what? My manager, she's such a bitch. Find a new job. I don't know. Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? And I cannot get past that. I just can't. And then they blame me. Oh, you never listen to me. You don't pay attention. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't pay attention. I don't pay attention at all. Because you're talking about a bunch of bullshit. I'm trying to make money. So, anyway. So, thank you for bringing all that up, whoever asked. Appreciate that. But just like there are patterns and charts, there are patterns. No, I agree. There are definitely other moving parts, but I just remember that being like that's a common thing. And then by me being so nonchalant, I just don't care. I don't care. You know what I mean? I just don't care. If it's not about making money, becoming a better person, or something halfway intellectual, I don't fucking care. You know what I mean? I just don't. So, we'll leave it at that. Let me get back to the charts. So, I will tell you though, a lot of today has been very back and forth. Or a lot of people, you know, will post the the barcode GIF, right? GIF, whatever it's called. And, you know, a lot of people on Twitter are going to, well, they're going to bitch regardless, but a lot of people do complain about sideways price action. But that doesn't mean today is not tradable. That doesn't mean it's not tradable. Okay. Was there still opportunity here? I don't know, John. Maybe. Well, if you're going to mention it, then I guess there probably is some. Okay. Well, what's the model, bro? What's the model? The model is the Judas model. Is a 1, 2, 3 formation, and you wait for a shift in price delivery. As one example, you wait for the last imbalance to get traded through. You enter at that imbalance, not financial advice, but the way that I do it is I look at longing the inversion, stop at the low, aiming for a minimum of a 1 to 2. So that means the entry would be there if you like trading during lunch. Or if you wanted to wait until 11:15, that would be fine too. New 5-minute, new 15-minute candle, right? Stop goes at the low. Now, in futures, you would not have been stopped out here. Now, in CFDs, your ass is grass. Good luck to you. 1 to 2, right there. If you want to wait for the highs, that'd be a little bit further. 1 to 3 is like one point above those highs. There's your 1 to 3. Oh, today's not tradable. You're right. It's not tradable for you because you're a dumbass and you don't know shit. But it's tradable for a lot of other people who actually know what to look for, and they know various models. Yeah, those people can trade. There's nothing wrong with what a lot of people call barcode price action. It's not bad. Nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so. Shakespeare. Inspired by Seneca. Your thoughts matter. And if you think price action sucks, that's fine, but price doesn't suck. It's you who sucks. And I know a lot of people don't like to hear that. Oh, you're being mean, John. No. I'm not being mean at all. In Mastery, it literally, by Robert Greene, right? I've been talking about that for those of you that hopped on a little bit late. Robert Greene talks about that. He's like, in this day and age, mentors have to be brutally honest and not like sugarcoat stuff. Be all soft and cuddly and shit. That's not how trading works, bro. That's not how that works. I would rather tell you how it is, okay, to tell you the truth. I learned a long time ago that people don't like that. But I eventually learned it's not that they don't like the truth. It's just people, I guess, like being comforted a certain way, you know? It's like, dude, fuck all that, man. You think the markets are going to just, oh, hey, excuse me, I'm just going to take your stop loss, but don't mind me. Hey, I'm sorry. It's cool, though. Don't be upset. I'm just going to take your stop loss. No. Your stop loss is getting taken, and nobody's going to be there for you. You know what I mean? So, fuck all that soft shit, bro. Let me look at one thing real quick. So I saw Ricky's tweet earlier. I'm in agreement with Ricky. I think he's talking about these highs up here. I'm pretty sure that's our high probability target for today, despite what we've seen earlier. Because I agree, a lot of people don't like trading stuff like this, meaning we have, it's not a trend line, by the way, I'm just trying to draw, pun, your attention to lower highs and then higher lows. Okay. A lot of people don't like that. And I'm like halfway in agreement. A lot of the times I don't like trading that either. But what have I taught you about relative strength. Relative strength, in the way that I taught you, states that when one of them does something the others do not, meaning, let's go back to NQ. We have a low at 850 and we've made higher lows, right? ES also made a low at 850. We have some higher low, well, up until here, but I'll get to that. Dow at 845, but whatever. We have lower lows here. So at 1110, mind you, okay, 1110, what is that? What's 1110? Jordan, I don't know if Jordan's here, but what's 1110? So if we have manipulation at 1110, 1115, ES, although it's trading below short-term lows, it's not making a lower low on the day. So yes, 1110 is the basically the close of the 11 o'clock macro. 1050 is here. 1110 is here. Right? So that macro took us lower, actually right outside of it. Oh no, we did hit the lows right at 1110. And then a little bit below it, right? Damn. Got too many drawings on here, chat. 1050, 1110, right, is here. So our 11 o'clock macro took us lower in order to take out some previous lows. So again, damn, let's delete that. So again, manipulation, Judas model, right? So if Dow is going to trade higher and it's our weakest index, what do you think is going to happen to ES? What do you think is going to happen to NQ, our strongest index? They're going to fly. Let me tell you something. Once the weakest asset is ready to go, the others will fly because they're stronger, right? So once Dow's like, all right, fine, I'll come along. I ain't gonna like it, but you know, it's gonna get dragged along. Then the other indices are going to fly. They're going to absolute fly. And you do see that here. We have had somewhat of a retracement. Honestly, I don't like how sideways we are, but I'm looking at this like a reaccumulation here. Okay. I'm not in a trade on Nasdaq, so whatever happens, happens. But that's what I'm looking at as of now. In my opinion, I think we should trade higher. But it's all about the timing, right? Time, price, context. At the time of 1115, 1120, when Dow was lower, right? And after it came off its low and was ready to rally, let me show you one more time. Meaning here, like once I tweeted, okay, now it might trade higher above some highs and potentially further and further. Once it's ready to do that, that's when the other indices do this. They take off. Similar highs. NQ, same thing, similar highs. A lot of traders look at this big triangle and they go, well, shit, I don't know. Is it going to trade lower? Is it going to trade higher? That's because you're looking at just the formation by itself. You're looking at just a big triangular pattern, right? Of course. But we have liquidity resting up here. So the probabilities are, if we're showing accumulation against the other, well, against Dow at least, right? If we have a signature of accumulation and then we have liquidity also that shows higher, then that's where the probabilities are. And that's it. It's as simple as that. Now, that's not to say this can't come back down here and, you know, maybe take a break even or something. That's fine. But what did we talk about? I don't know if we did yesterday. I know last week I talked many times about what? Taking partials at new highs. If you were trading in here, there's a new high right there. There's a new high right there. And the highest one out of these 3 or 4 is here. Okay. I was going to say that's not equities open, but right there. So even this small move in here is enough. That's enough. Let me take something off for a little bit. Okay. The tweet was at 11:18. All right. Now watch this. 11:18. What is that? What is that right there? You let me know. We got 80 people. Chat's open today. What is that right here at 11:30? What's that? There's multiple answers, by the way, so it's not like you need to know all of it. Mason says imbalance and a breakaway. What else? What else, chat? Just want to watch live price too. What is this right there? We have a low, a high, and then a what? We have a higher low here. We have a higher low here, and we trade through it. And I told you that what? It's not a mitigation in the way that I view it, but it functions like one. That's it right there. Trades into what? How many imbalances do you have here? You have one? Then you have a second one. What has always been the rule? When you have 2, you trade the first one, stop at the second one. Trades right into that. Down candle right there. Let me take this line off. Down candle right there. And rallies again for that high, that, and this one. So who's to say that that isn't a decent trade? And we're getting a deep pullback, bro. That's crazy. But who's to say that that isn't at least a good day and not needing the highs up here? Because now it's pretty much back down here, which to me is wild. But hey, like I said, there is a lot of soup going on today. We traded above these highs back into the range. So it's a very range-bound day. Look at it. That high, back in the range. That low, back in the range. This high here taken, or excuse me, this low, sorry. That low taken, back in the range. These lows, back in the range. These highs, back in the range. It's a range-bound day. Days like today, if you can't nail the low to hold for the highs, at least take partials at new highs. That's just good trading. And yeah, Caesar, I think I don't know about the 5 minute, but you have a series of down candles there. And then you have that one here that I mentioned a minute ago. That right there. That right there. 11:30 is what? That's an open of a new 30-minute candle, a new 15-minute candle, a new 5-minute candle, a new 1-minute candle. So you're longing below the open of a lot of those candles. Okay? And we're pretty much right back down here. So not a surprise, but not what I was expecting. So it's not a surprise because, again, this is a day that is running lows back in the range, running highs back in the range. So holding trades on a day like this sucks. Dow has not moved a lot though. Man, Dow has not moved hardly at all here. I don't know what to expect for the PM session. If I was in, I'm not, but if I was in from like down here, I would still feel okay about higher pricing. But for this particular session, I can't honestly tell you what I think the low is going to be. We blasted right through this. Ugh, I don't know. I don't know. But you guys have any questions so far? Yeah, so Mason, the breaker is the low, high, lower low. That's what I call the mitigation because that's its function. But the low, high, higher low, that also functions like a mitigation. Same function, different formation. And that's what accumulation is. Accumulation is a higher low, whether it's a larger time frame or a smaller time frame. I hope that makes sense. So let's say, for example's sake, if you took the inversion model and you partialed, if you had, well, at least 2 contracts, if you had 2 or more contracts, if you partialed and you held one, this seems okay. This seems okay to hold 1 or 2 to see if we do get higher pricing. But again, I do find it a little strange that ES has retraced pretty deeply. Nasdaq has done it as well. And Dow really hasn't moved all that much. That to me is a little, I don't know. It's just strange to me. Because I don't think we should have retraced that much. I wouldn't have wanted to see that. These are equal lows down here. Shit, I guess we probably could come down for that, but I wouldn't be interested in trading ES if we were to do that. I think we should leave those open and go up here. But if I'm wrong, then I'll be wrong. Know what I'm saying? What else you guys got? What other questions you got for me? We got 80, almost 80 people. Probably about 20 minutes left in today's session. So far, we've gone over the Judas model, my Judas model, which is the 1, 2, 3 formation lows or highs with the last imbalance as an inversion entry. We talked about relative strength, right? Accumulation versus manipulation, and how the opportunities are right after with the right time, price, and context. We talked about some higher, not time frame, but price levels on the upside that I think are high probability for today. What else do you guys want to talk about? The 9 a.m. macro on ES. London low sweat plus inverted imbalance got a small loss. Okay, so the 9 a.m. macro, is that my 9 o'clock or is that your 9 o'clock? Because that definitely matters too. Are you talking about... Yeah, let me see. 8:50 to 9:10. Is that the one you're referring to? I gotta find that indicator again and put that back on here. I want to keep drawing this shit out. Mason, I have like 460 something miles on it. I might take her out today. It's been hot, bro. It's been really hot. And people around here really just, people don't understand. If you're in the left lane, you got to do the speed limit or more. People going below the speed limit in the left lane, bro, I've almost rammed into the back of people like 12 times already in the last 2 weeks. Okay, this one. Well, oof. So you... Wait, hold on a minute. How did you take a loss on this? If you saw that and then this imbalance, how did you take a loss on that? Now, mind you, the entry would be there. Based off the rules, the stop would be here. So I don't know how, and that's a wide stop, to be honest with you. 40 points. Oof. On NQ. Oh, wait, did you say ES? Oh. I'm not even looking at the right shit. 8:50 to 9:10. On ES, right? Okay. Now do we have the right shit going on? Now do we have the right one? Yeah, how did you take a loss on that? Oh, you reduced the risk after it went higher. Yeah, that's where you fucked up. But I'm going to be honest. I probably would have done the same thing. Although it never makes a new high until over here. Because you have a very small set of highs here. Right? Right there. These do not become what they are now, right? Until 9:45. Because now, like, that's a higher target for me. But leading up to that, the retracement down and into this, moving your stop or reducing risk wouldn't have been done until here. The entry would be that. That's kind of a wide stop, and that RR is not great. That's barely more than a 1-to-1. That's a slightly higher high. So I probably wouldn't have targeted London's high. But even if you were to do that, that's barely a 1-to-2. So I guess. Okay? Like, I guess. And as per the way that I look to partial, is you partial at a new high. That's not a new high. That is a new high here, but that's not a new high above this retracement here. So I can tell you right now, if it was me, if I took drawdown and then got a new high, that would probably, I probably would have went break even on that. And then it would have came out, or excuse me, it would have came down to get me out at a break even and then it probably would have, came up here. That's a partial and a break even. And so if that didn't break me even, that would have here. So, the rules are the way they are for a reason. You know what I mean? So hopefully that helps. You saw one yesterday, Mason? Nice. I saw a red one yesterday. He had a bigger wing. It might have been a Z06. I couldn't really tell because of how far away it was. I might upgrade my wing one day. I'm not looking at CAD, Caesar. That's like the most dog shit currency to me. So, sorry, but not doing it. Brian took a loss when the market came back to the second imbalance. The market didn't take the 15-minute imbalance below. On what? On what? Yeah, this kind of sucks. That's a mitigation there. Right? High, low, higher high. We trade through it. That right there. I definitely want to short at that, but just for example's sake, for study's sake, that's what it looks like. But that's so hard for me to trust. I guess we could come down for those lows, but it's hard for me to trust shorting when those highs are like right there. I just can't do it. You're still in YM? I mean, like I said, it looks fine. From down here, it looks great. I mean, Dow is obviously the weakest index today. Shit, we're still in a fucking discount. We're still in a discount here from that London's high down to this low. We're still in a we haven't even breached 50% yet. We haven't even pushed up past 50% yet for Dow. This is still a discount. But anything down here is somewhat protected because of that short-term low and this short-term low as well. And the fact that we have not retraced, again, as much versus ES, kind of a deep retracement. Nasdaq, same thing, kind of a deep retracement. This is still on a premium, though. And that's what sucks about days like today. One Dow's in a discount. NQ really near 50%. And look how much time we spent at that price level today. Oh, the 420 level. Jesus, look at that. I keep telling y'all you can't escape the 420 level. See? We have spent a high amount of time around the 420 level. You like that? How's that, chat? How's that for comedy hour? So yeah, that's there. This looks right around 50% possibly. Or discount. Yeah, I would not like to trade today. But if I had to, I would be long. If I had to take a trade, I'd be long. Dow has very clean highs, but it's the weakest. NQ has really clean highs, but we're near 50%. I don't trust any of this. So it would just, we're about to come up on the 1 o'clock macro, by the way. So this for me would be a walk away. Like I would just literally walk away. Well, I'll be at my computer. just minimize trading view and go back to doing what I was doing earlier, which is a lesson plan. How to day trade like Marcus Aurelius. If that sounds interesting to you, drop some 2s in the chat. How to day trade like Marcus Aurelius. Does that sound like something worth watching to you? Shit, I guess we are going to run for those lows. Those equal lows here. Now we get our retracement on Dow. I don't like the rest of this today. Could be a lazy trader's model though. Long at 25, stop at the low, aiming for 75% would be the 1 to 2. 42,910 would be the 1 to 3. Yeah. So I actually had a day trade like Marcus Aurelius. I actually wrote this one like, what is it? 520. I probably wrote this one out like 2 or 3 months ago. And then I put it in a stack of papers with other lesson plans and I totally forgot about it. So this is a 5-minute time frame of Dow. We're on a 5-minute time frame. Because what I'm trying to look at on one screen, I like 1-minute time frames, but what I'm trying to do is fit everything on one screen. Meaning like the low that's been set, maybe a target. I'm just trying to fit all that on one screen so you can see it. There's a really good mental model from Shane Parrish's The Great Mental Models. I think it's the first one, and it's called The Map is Not the Territory. And so in short, that means maps aren't always accurate. And you don't know who made it, what metrics they used or whatever. And so you might think, okay, John, the map is not the territory. What are you talking about? Well, it means if you're so far zoomed in, right? And this is all you see, you don't know what your higher time frame target is. So your current map is not the territory. You might think this is bearish because you might be like, oh, well, there's a formation up here, right? Oh, the trend is lower. Let me try and short that. Okay. Right? Oh, this is an up candle before a down move, right? Let's just draw this for a second. Let's just see how that would work. Okay. Let's just see if that would work or not. Hell, it might because ES has lows. But I just want to see what it would look like to short something like this. Near 50%. Percentage-wise, it's not the strongest, but price action-wise, it's the strongest index, in my opinion, because of the accumulation earlier. But having just that and not having this, the full picture, you're limited to, your vision is limited. So if we were to take that mental model, the map is not the territory, how would we use that for trading? You need multiple maps, which means you need multiple time frames. Higher time frame, daily, weekly, maybe hourly, and then drop down into the 15, 5, 1 minute. So that way you get the full scope of, okay, this is what we're working with. This is what we've got. What's high probability? What's low probability? Okay. Now watch that bitch get stopped out. You ready? Watch it. $12.55. Yeah, we're pretty much in our 1 o'clock macro. Or maybe not. Maybe we don't get stopped. What happened with IM Academy? They're done. They're done. Cooked. Finished. Obsolete. No, I don't actually know. A little birdie, right? The grapevine, if you will, told me that they are getting rid of IBOs, which means they're pretty much getting rid of the, I guess, MLM structure. I could be wrong. I don't know. I know a lot of people are leaving. I know a lot of people are frustrated. I know there's a $1.2 billion lawsuit. Shit, dude. I'd be shitting bricks. I told y'all years and years and years ago, the FTC does not fuck around. I told you I'd rather have the cartel after me than the FTC or the SEC or the CFTC. Any of the 3 or 4 letter agencies in the US, you do not want after you. I promise. I promise. Let me just check a couple more things real quick. Well, as we let this pan out, I can tell you right now, in CFDs, you would have got stopped out here because of spread. And yeah, they had rebranded again. I think that was last year or maybe the year before or something. I don't know. They had rebranded again. Why do you think I put out the... I think there was 10. There was 10 laws that I pointed out from the 48 Laws of Power that would help you in business. And one of them is recreate yourself. But you only get one time. Okay, I'm going to make a video about this. But just to end it on like some business ideas, business entrepreneurship, okay? You can recreate yourself. I did. Y'all see the name on my funded trader, right? Or my funded certificate, right? It's Jonathan Flood. That's my real name. But what do I go by online? John Fibonacci. That is recreation. It's a name, it's a brand. Right? Well, Smart Money Stoics is the brand, but John Fibonacci that's like my online, it's like my gamer tag basically, right? That's recreating yourself. Now, if I change my name again every like 6 months or so, that would not be a good look, right? That makes you look fickle. It makes you look like you lack loyalty, and that's not good in business. Okay? So, yes, you can recreate yourself, but you only get like one chance to do it. You get one. If you're lucky, maybe you get a second chance, but more times than not, I mean, think about it, chat, before more of you leave, because I know we're coming up on an hour, but how many times have you seen people go from MLM to MLM? Or they go from one way of trading to another? Or they go from one career to another, and they're just like a ship out to sea with no rudder. They're just all over the place. They're not loyal to anybody or anything. They're just doing random shit. Drop some threes in the chat if you know people like that. Drop some threes in the chat if you know people like that. Oh, well, they were doing this. They were in MLMs. Now they're doing credit, or now they're doing fucking whatever. Doing all kind of shit. How successful do you think those people are? Well, if it ain't working, they're going to move. And if it ain't working, they're going to move. I would almost argue that that's why it's not working, because you don't actually give it enough time and enough effort to make it work. So that to me is, it's a good idea. You can recreate yourself, but you only get one chance, bro. You get one chance. Otherwise, your reputation takes a hit. So, you know, but don't listen to me. You ain't got to. All right, well, our macro's done a little bit on Dow. Haven't done a lot with ES. I still don't know what to expect here. We have those lingering lows. I don't think we're going to get that, but there's a chance that we could. But if I had to say, I think we should trade higher. Nasdaq, it needs to make a decision. We're still near 50%, so it's not a surprise. Again, if I had to decide, I'd say higher. I would say higher. And I was trying to see what we would do. You know, with something like this. Let me ask you this. If you were short, how would you feel right now? How would you feel? You're probably not short. But just think, right? Do a thought experiment, another mental model, and just think about that. How did you feel last time you were in a trade that almost went to your stop, then kind of went your way, then almost went to your stop, then kind of went your way, and now it's, you know, just around your entry? We talked about this yesterday. You probably would not feel great about that, huh? What about silver? Silver hasn't done shit. Once we took that low from like a month or two ago or whatever, we haven't done dick. It's just sitting around. Thought it was weird when some of the top leaders were leaving. Well, why do you think? You think people leave for no reason? All this money, all this success. Why leave then? Actions speak louder than words. I know you've heard that before. That's also a law. Boom, 436. Okay, that proves my point. Let's come back. The map is not the territory. You probably looked at that at one point in time like, oh, that's an up candle before the down move. And this is a downtrend. Oh, we have lower lows and lower highs. Right. And look what happened. Your ass just got clapped. Right? Because the map's not the territory. I told you a few minutes ago, when you're super zoomed in and that's all you can see, and you don't see, number one, that we're near 50% of the range, and number two, you got lingering highs up here, bro. So you're trying to short a market that I believe is currently bullish. And then why do you think I marked this inversion here? Why do you think? If it's bearish, it's going to trade through bullish concepts. If it's bullish, it's going to respect bullish concepts. So what do you think that is right there? If we take everything off now, even the tweet, okay? If we have lows that got swept, and we have, let me put the highs back up here. we have all this shit up here too. Just so you're aware. Okay, how far can we go above highs? I mean, like I said, I think earlier, 21.5, maybe even above. But let me come back. If we have highs up here, low, swept, right? Then ideally we would look to long, not short. So that's why I said, watch that get stopped out. And it got stopped out. Here's another mental model for you. This is your third mental model today. You ready? Inversion. Not the concept inversion. Inversion is we can do more right by avoiding what to do wrong. Did you hear what I said? It's easier to avoid dumb shit than to be a genius. Something like that is what Charlie Munger had said. So you look at what you're trying to do and you go, okay, let's make a list of what not to do. And as long as we avoid doing those things, we have a greater chance of success. So what is one of the things that people do when they first learn about up candles and down candles? They go, oh, well, the up candle before the down move is the short. Fucking wrong. 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 That's not always the case. We have lows that got swept, and we have opposing liquidity up here. So number one, the map is not the territory. Zoom out. Number two, inversion. What do a lot of people do in the beginning? They short up candles in a market that is not bearish. So they get wrecked. So if we're not going to short, what are we going to do? Go long. Wow. Really hard, John. Mental models are really hard. You know? Trading, I guess rules or first principles, buy low, sell high. It's not hard. You just have to have a set of rules and follow them. How would you know when NQ is bearish? What low would it have to break? Well, it needs liquidity. There needs to be liquidity. We have accumulation. This to me, small time frame, long in there, not short. Okay. We would not short this market because there are lows, yes, but again, we have accumulation and we have clean highs up here in a market that on a higher time frame is bullish. I would not short this, even if it goes lower and takes out these lows. I would say that's fine. I don't care. I do not short the strongest index. That's a no. That's a no-no. Okay. I guess we'll take a brief look at gold because you guys, you like gold. The imbalance / gap from April 10th and 11th. We had traded into that. What was that, last week? Thursday of last week. Friday would be a next candle entry long. Obviously, this is hindsight. But what is it likely to expand for? Well, this is gold on a front-running continuous contract, sorry. So I would probably say that gap on the daily, which is also seen on the 1 hour. It's very late now, but there's a simple analysis for you. Higher time frame imbalance. We traded into it one more time. Now we're seeing the continuation. Yeah, well, I'm not gonna say anything, but a lot of people just don't know, bro. And a lot of people that do know, they did not get promotion. I got no promotion, bro. I had more content than anybody by far. Like, I think the person in second maybe had half of what I had at best. Okay. No one had more content than me. I got 0 promotion, 0 Sunday calls. Nobody called me. Right. I'm out here. Mitigation probably here. Look, I'm not saying to trade that, but I'm just looking at it. Could be, but we won't know until later. But, you know, like, look, bro, I'm doing stuff like this. I'm literally tweeting, calling ideas at the almost low of the day. I got no promotion, bro. None whatsoever. They didn't really promote Trade House all that much either. So, why do you think I gave you a warning years ago? A lot of people do shady business. A lot of people lie, emotionally manipulate. Your leaders are pieces of shit. Almost every last one of them. Right? All promises, very little delivery. Very, very low retention. You don't promote your best people. Like, damn. What more do you need? That's not sustainable. So that's why I gave everybody a warning. I said, watch the fuck out. So, you know, just another I told you so. I didn't leave in 2020. I think I left in, I don't know when it was. I think it was 2 years ago. Like maybe 2.5 years ago, right around that. Yeah, Pop. Yeah. It's a good question. But anyway, that's pretty much the end of the macro as well. So that's it. That's all I got for you. Gave you some mental models for traders. That'll probably be its own video too. We talked about some other concepts today. We talked about when not to short. You know what I mean? About knowing that the map is not the territory. You know? So I mean, you guys still get new fresh shit all the time. I'm not an educator that just goes over the same shit over and over again. I give you fresh shit all the time. Not a lot of mentors can do that. So, y'all be good, man. Be blessed. I'll put out the market review later this evening for all the members of the SMS community. If you're not a member, Caesar, Liquidity, and maybe a few more of you. Giles, Michael, Michelle, fuck. G, I'll just say G. For those of you that are not a member, man, you can become a member. If you click that join button below the video, it's $25 a month. You'll get the Discord, member-only videos, sniper badge, and some other shit that I can't think about. All right, so be good, be blessed. I'll see you tomorrow right here, same time, same place. I did not have an outro song ready.
The time will come hideaway. Wants to live as universe, just a hideaway. The time has come for us to love, a hideaway. Just